A new ITVX documentary is jam-packed with new hair-raising claims and insights into how the royal family has operated for the past few decades. 1. Harry's death in war deemed acceptable by late Queen. The late Queen Elizabeth II permitted Prince Harry to go to war and not his older brother Prince William because his death on the battlefield was acceptable, but William, as the future heir to the throne, was not permitted to head to the front line when the Afghanistan war broke out in 2001 because the risk was seen as too great. The decision is discussed at a meeting between the late Queen and General Sir Mike Jackson, former head of the British Army, which is disclosed in the documentary. Sir Mike said, "She was very clear. She said, my grandsons have taken my shilling, therefore they must do their duty. And that was that. But it was decided that William is heir to the heir, the risk is too great. But for his younger brother, the risk was acceptable." 2. Camilla secretly met the Archbishop of Canterbury at a flat in Peckham. Camilla met the former Archbishop of Canterbury, George Carey, at his son's flat in Peckham, London, to get to know her and discuss the possibility of her marrying Charles, who was then the Prince of Wales. Dr. Carey, who was the Archbishop of Canterbury from 1991 to 2002, suggested the location to avoid attracting media attention and ensure the meeting was kept secret. 3. Prince Andrew's overconfidence led to Newsnight interview. Duke of York's infamous sit-down interview on BBC Newsnight, where he defended his friendship with sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, was due to his overconfidence, an insider claimed. Tory peer Lord Patten discussed the royals' decision to give the interview, which sparked a huge public backlash and led to the Queen stripping him of his military honours, royal patronages and use of his HRH title, in the documentary. 4. Princess Anne's blunt response to her kidnapper, the failed attempt to kidnap Princess Anne in 1974 is detailed within the series, with her former bodyguard Jim Beaton detailing the terrifying ordeal. The Queen's daughter, then aged 23, was travelling back to Buckingham Palace after attending a charity event with her then-husband Captain Mark Phillips. A car overtook them and forced the vehicle to stop by blocking their route. Its driver, Ian Ball, then exited the car holding 2 handguns and descended on the royal limousine. 5. Michael Fagan, someone should have stopped me from breaking into the palace. One of the more comical parts of the series is the interview with Michael Fagan, the man who broke into Buckingham Palace undetected on 2 separate occasions in 1982. The documentary sees the intruder retrace his steps and retell how he managed to pull off one of the most notorious break-ins in British history. He jokingly remarks that there are cameras up there now at the point he scaled the 20-foot brick wall to enter the inside of the palace gates. After entering the building, Mr. Fagan says how he attempted to wipe his dirty hands on 106. Prince Andrew insisted on taking his own ironing board. Prince Andrew had a long list of demands when traveling abroad, which included only drinking lukewarm water and insisting on his valet bringing along his own ironing board. Former diplomat Simon Wilson detailed this in the documentary, when he recalled the bizarre details on a trip to Bahrain. 7. Queen's Sherry o'clock. Sir Mike recalled how a predecessor advised him on the best time to meet the Queen to avoid interfering with her sherry time. He said that he was advised to try to secure the midday slot because after 40 minutes the Queen would ring a small bell and say, "Time for a sherry, I think." 8. Princess Margaret longed for love. The Archbishop of Canterbury was one of the last people to see Princess Margaret before she died, and he speaks about the encounter in the documentary. In one of the more moving scenes of the series, Lord Carey